SGA presented several awards to faculty and staff for their work for open education resources. CIA Director Bill Burns visited Aggieland this week, and the Battalion was named 2023 Adair Student Organization of the Year. Howdy, I'm Ana Renfroe, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Batt Signal.
Hey Aggies, are you ready to win some money? Then download the Lucra Sports app right now. Lucra is the new social app for sports because with Lucra, you get to set the terms and compete against your friends and other real people. That's right, no more taking on the house that always wins, no more bookies shading the lines in their favor, and no more sharks just waiting to take your money. Just one-on-one sports action against your friends and fellow Aggies. Lucra offers all kinds of contests: NFL, NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball. Heck, you can even challenge your friends on the next game of beer pong you're playing. There's no time like right now to race over to the App Store or Google Play Store and download the Lucra Sports app. That's Lucra, Lucra. Best of all, your contests against your friends are on us. Use promo code AGGIES and Lucra will put $10 in free play right into your account upon signing up. No deposit required, just free money from Lucra Sports to get you started. The fun is already going on without you, so make sure you download Lucra Sports today.
On the evening of April 12th, Student Government Association, or SGA leaders, gathered with Texas A&M faculty to present awards to their 2023 Open Education Awards recipients. Open Education Resources, or OERs, are additional help by faculty members who take time to provide easy and affordable access to course-related materials. Here to tell us more about this year's awards ceremony is news reporter Madison Umphrey.
Hi, Anna. Thank you for having me on.
So, Madison, who are the 2023 OER award recipients?
This year's awards were presented to Dwight Robler, Raina Dexter, Zihong Shu, David Sweeney, Teresa Murphy, Elaine Loasukum, and Nathan Brasher.
There's been a lot of recent talk about OER, but how can they benefit students?
According to the Assistant Vice President for Faculty Affairs, Heather Wilkinson, OER materials are customizable, which means an instructor can provide students with precisely what they need without a bunch of other unused chapters. Adopting OERs helps share clear and precise information with students, Wilkinson said.
Can you tell us more about this year's awards ceremony?
Yeah, according to International Studies Senior and SGA Director of Strategic Initiatives, Kaylee Popelka, the event was revamped last year because there was not as much recognition for OER as there is now. However, SGA started advertising and sharing more information about this year's event, allowing more faculty and students to become involved, Popelka said.
How are award recipients selected?
Faculty are nominated by other professors and their peers. Honorees who were selected for this award have backed up their teaching responsibilities with deliberate intention by hand-selecting and often personally tailoring the student learning experience, according to Wilkinson.
What other positive effects can OERs have on students' lives?
OER can change lives, not just academically, but also ease financial stressors in personal life, epidemiology graduate student Madeline Rigsby said. Rigsby said OERs can change students' ability to be successful in classes, impacting their home and well-being.
What do other professors think?
Performance Studies Instructional Associate Professor Raina Dexter said OERs are accessible in all of her courses to eliminate stress on students so that a textbook is not needed. Dexter said she finds there are a lot of students who have the same struggles regardless of their financial backgrounds due to rising cost of attending college.
Thanks for telling us about this year's OER Awards ceremony, Madison.
Thank you so much for having me on, Anna. Have a good one.
The full version of Madison's story is available online at thebat.com. On the evening of April 12th, CIA Director Bill Burns visited Texas A&M to speak to students and staff about the CIA's current position on international affairs and current geopolitical environment the agency and nation are facing. Burns was hosted by the Intelligence Studies program in the Bush School of Government and Public Service. News writer Adrian Jasso covered the event to give us an inside look on what Burns had to say. Burns began his lecture by discussing the ongoing Russian invasion of Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin's two principal ambitions were to restore Russia as a great power after what he said to be a quote-unquote decade of humiliation after the collapse of the Soviet Union, and of course to establish himself as a great Russian leader. Burns said in order for Putin to accomplish this, he had to do two things. One, create a sphere of influence where he can control the choices of his principal neighbors. Second was to create a very repressive, authoritarian war of aggression. Burns said a free, democratic Ukraine threatened Putin's ambition. Burns said over the last decade, Ukraine has become very independent, moving more and more towards the West. Burns said over the last decade, Ukraine has become very independent, moving more and more towards the West, but became a threat to the ambition of Vladimir Putin over the past few years. Burns believes it's likely the Russian government decided to launch an attack against Ukraine due to strategic timing. Putin had convinced himself that strategically his window of opportunity to establish control over Ukraine was beginning to close, and technically he looked into the beginning of 2022 as a favorable time. Burns said Putin thought Ukraine was a weak and divided country and that the Russian military could achieve a quick, decisive victory at little to no cost. Putin thought Ukraine was not a real country, and well, a real country fights back, Burns said. Burns said to remember Russia's invasion has been a disaster for the Russians and not to underestimate the Ukrainians. Burns said their invasion has already been a massive strategic failure for Russia due to the military's exposure and loss of manpower and resources. Burns also spoke on the Kremlin's connection with China, in which Burns said the partnership, while a significant one, could force Russia to become an economic colony of China due to Russia's dependence on China for trade and business. Russia runs the risk of becoming dependent on the Chinese market and Chinese technology, and the CIA will continue to watch the relationship very closely, Burns said. While discussing further potential conflict between China and Taiwan, Burns said the CIA does not underestimate Chinese President Xi Jinping's ambition to control Taiwan. While discussing the potential for further conflict between China and Taiwan, Burns said the CIA does not underestimate China's President Xi Jinping's ambition to control Taiwan. Burns said Xi has publicly stated that his preference is to accomplish this short of the use of force. Noting that nobody has been watching the Ukrainian conflict closer than Xi has, Burns said the experience has deepened those doubts that the Chinese has the capacity to invade Taiwan successfully. The director added that the risk of the conflict is likely to grow over the course of this decade. Additionally, Director Burns discussed how A&M students can join the CIA and what the agency is looking for. Burns noted the CIA is an incredible place of work for students who are interested in public service, and the CIA has been working extensively to accelerate the recruiting process. Now, they're most interested in recruiting students with a background in language or technology skills, but they're not exclusively limited to STEM fields. The full version of Adrian's story is available online at thebat.com. Last but not least, I'm joined by Battalion Editor-in-Chief Michaela Rush to share an exciting update from our newsroom.
Hi, Anna. Thank you so much for having me.
So, announced on April 13th, the Battalion was named the 2023 Adara Student Organization of the Year in the affiliated category. Michaela, how does it feel to be named with such an honor?
Well, I was really excited to hear about this. We applied for it towards the beginning of this semester, and, we've been really fortunate to win a lot of awards at the state and national level this year, but it's really great to be recognized by our university that we spend so much time covering. So I was really, really excited to get that email.
And what does this award recognize?
So this award recognizes student organizations that demonstrate innovation, embody the Aggie spirit, promote a culture of diversity, inclusion, and belonging, and have affected Texas A&M as well as the local or global community.
Well, I can only imagine how competitive the application process must have been, given how many student orgs we have on campus. So what comes next?
So I would say the next thing we have is, of course, the awards reception, which is on May 4th. We'll be receiving the award, and, hopefully this will be the first of many awards that we'll get to win from the Student Activities Office. So
I really hope so, too. That's so exciting. Well, thanks for sharing, Michaela.
Thank you so much for having me.
The full version of Michaela's story is available online at thebat.com. For more information on all the stories featured in today's episode, visit our website at thebat.com or pick up a print edition on stands every Thursday. This week's contributors are Madison Umphrey, Adrian Jasso, and Michaela Rush. Make sure to check out previous episodes of the Batt Signal, Home Turf, and Calculated Culture, available wherever you get your podcasts.